All right, what if I told you that I could actually show you how stressed or dysregulated your nervous system is? And guess what? This is not an assumption, but it's actually objective data that we measure for you and your family. See, here at Maximize Chiropractic, we use neurologically insight based scans that allow us to access how well your nervous system is functioning. Because your nervous system controls every organ, muscle, and tissue in your body. Yes, things like digestion or sleep or behavior, the immune system, your hormones, how well your body heals is dependent on your nervous system strength and balance. Now, here's the truth. Every member of your family, they experience stress differently. So where these scans come into place is that we want to understand each individual's needs. So let's get started. Let's go through each of these instruments. There's 3 scans that we run. Babies get 2 because one of them doesn't quite pertain to little itty bitty babies. However, the first one is the neurothermal scan. Basically, it's a super fancy, very expensive thermometer. And what it does is it runs up the surface of your spine. And the reason for this is that we want to measure inflammatory pathways at each segment of your spine because the bones of your spine are designed to protect the spinal cord and house the individual nerve roots that then control every organ, muscle, and tissue, allowing your brain and body to look for communication and function. Now, we're going to take this device and we're going to roll it up your spine. Very gentle, very easy to do. With really sensory sensitive individuals, we keep it in different segments instead of rolling it just to minimize any movement. And really what we're looking for is symmetry. We're looking for balance. You see, what happens is that when the nervous system is dysregulated, you will see a lot of temperature difference. You'll see one side with a lot of stress, the other side with no stress. And depending on the region of your spine, the different nerves control different systems of the body. And when you're stressed or there's interference, that communication looks uneven. Now, don't worry, I'm going to show you an example of a scan interpretation in just a moment once we actually go through all 3 of the scans. Now, the next one is a electromyography or a surface EMG scan. Now, this particular one has these little electrodes, and we place these at the surface of your spine, and it actually measures the tension and stress that is held within your neuromuscular system. Now, when you keep your body in an upright position, we want to see where shape and distribution. We look at muscle tone. We look at symmetry and balance. We look at efficiency. Because when you're exhausted, you use less energy. And in that situation, your adrenals usually show a lot of underactivity. When you're a lot of stress, overactive, hyperactive, like we see with a lot of sensory kiddos or struggles with ADHD, we see a lot of energy, a lot of tone. And that's where when we see this scan, we're really measuring how the autonomic nervous system is functioning internally, because a lot of times the busyness in the brain is caused by the demands that the body has. Now, our last scan is a heart rate variability, HRV scan. Now, this is not a heart test, it's more of a stress test, because the activity of your nervous system is like the horsepower in a vehicle. We want activity to be high and strong. We want the balance inside the nervous system to be acclimation. We want it to be gas pedal, brake pedal, like a vehicle. You should use both of them. So in this particular scan right here, adults put their hands inside here. Kids, we use a little ear clip or a finger clip. And in general, those with a low score, they're in survival mode. They're in stress mode. A high score, they're flexible, they're resilient, they're adaptive, they're healing the way God designed the body to heal. Now, when we know these information and these markers, it's really helpful to then be able to give recommendations on how to make that nervous system more adaptable and more resilient. So let me show you an example of what these scans look like so that you can understand what we're measuring and what we're actually looking for in an analytical, non-diagnostic fashion. We're not here to give you another label or another diagnosis. We're simply here to measure where your nervous system is strong and where it is suffering and dysregulated so that we can get you on a care plan and correct those challenges, getting your body to heal. All right, so right here we have a normal sequence of scans. And we're not going to focus on these ones up here. These are all normal scans. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about this one right here. So the heart rate variability scan ideally is at 100% activity and 100% balance. Now, activity is 0 to 100, balance 0 to 100 as well. Now, this mama, 39 years old, she's a mother of a perfect storm kiddo. We got her scanned, and she's got chronic stress, chronic fatigue, always stressed out. She's running around like 1,000,000 miles a minute, but she is having stress, and it's affecting her body. So when we look at this, we see that her score, she has very low activity, 66 score. Her body's nervous system is stuck in survival mode. She's exhausted. She looks like she has not slept in days. She has headaches. She's got blood pressure issues. She's got menstrual irregularities. And of course that's happening because her nervous system simply cannot communicate with the brain and the body. She's going to have a lot of stressors. Now, the second scan to the right, the neurothermal scan, this is again looking for pathways of stress that are affecting certain segments of the nervous system. Now, when we look at this, we see C1, major stress. We see S1, major stress. Now, those particular subluxation patterns, they're going to affect how the parasympathetic nervous system functions. Now, this is why she cannot get rest. She cannot regulate. She cannot digest. She is stuck in fight or flight mode. So this helps us to understand where exactly that stress in her nervous system is, and it allows us to understand where to focus in certain regions when we're offering our neurologically based adjustments, which help to stimulate and balance that lovely nervous system. Now, when we look at this next scan right here, this is the surface EMG. These areas right here, overactive muscles, super hyperactive, very, very tense, very tight. But then we look at these areas right here at this T10, at this C7, very underactive. So her posture is like this, hunched over, slouched over. Her energy is completely destroyed. And these scans, they tell us exactly why that's happening. So here's the thing. When a scan is interpreted, we are looking to confirm neurological distress. We're looking to understand, how does your nervous system contribute to the dysregulation that is manifesting as symptoms or diagnosis of dis-ease within your body. And the challenge is that, number one, everyone in your family has different methods of having stress. Everyone copes differently. For instance, babies. Look at stress during pregnancy in utero. Look at birth stress from all the medicalization of birth. Look at the sensory challenges. Look at their immune struggles. Babies have tons of stress, and it starts off very early. Then we look at toddlers or the regular kiddos in their ages. We see the tantrums, the sensory challenges, the immune system stress, whether it's asthma or skin issues, always getting sick. Those kiddos also have their struggles. Then the teens in our society, oh my goodness, they're so overwhelmed. They've got tons of anxiety, lots of hormonal dysregulation, and their emotions are all over the place. There is a reason why that brain-body connection is so affected and dysregulated. Then the parents, you guys are generally the worst. You got chronic stress. You moms especially, you're the ones who are searching a video like this today at 10 o'clock at night, after you've already woken up at 5 a.m. the morning before, after you've already made lunches, after you've run around to sports and different therapies. So here's the thing. Families do not heal in isolation. When one nervous system is dysregulated, it impacts the entire household. Just like if one person walks into the house all angry, they're going to ruin the energy for everyone else. However, when the household is regulated, the house is super chill and calm. The kids are regulated easier. They're transitioning better. The parents have the capacity to actually deal with the children's stressors, and health, it starts to thrive inside the household. So if you're wondering where to start, well, you start with clarity first. Get the entire family checked. Because here's what I see the most often situation. Mom brings in the most dysregulated kiddo in the household first. The kiddo is the main stressor in the entire household. Well, we get that kiddo under care. Then from there, we start to work with the other kiddos in the household, as mom is always watching, placing herself last. Here's the thing, don't wait. Co-regulation, how mom and baby, how dad and mom interact with one another is really the recipe for how the household will really adapt to those stressors. So instead of just getting one checked, get the whole household checked. Healing occurs in a family environment. Think about this as I leave you with this last little part. If only one person in the home eats healthy and everyone else is eating unhealthy, it's not going to work long term. We want to do things communally in a family environment, and that way we can help you change the way that you view and manage health. We can have these scans run so that we can allow your body to naturally heal through these neurologically focused adjustments. And it's a way better approach than running to your doctor, having a bunch of different drugs or therapies for each and every person. We can help your body work better internally. And it all starts with understanding the data, which are these neurologically based scans that we run here at Maximize Chiropractic. So we look forward to serving you, and have a blessed day.